clear day. And I watched the second plane crash into the World Trade Center. And then within an hour, the South Tower collapse. Then I was a chaplain at Ground Zero for 4 months. Now I invite you to join me in my personal journey of healing through music and sharing. Each week I'm posting a song that I've written followed by memories from 9/11. This song, Flip Me, is dedicated to the Ground Zero Firemen and to one particular New York City fireman who lost his entire firehouse at Ground Zero. We stood together, mostly in silence, peering into the pit, grieving that enormous loss. Sir, I remember, and I mourn with you still today. I walk around the ruins in my brain. The tears of fears, the silent suffocation. Walk around the ruins in my brain. Rooms of desolation, from tripping up the pile, peering in the pit, bouncing on the voids with I falling. Tripping up the pile, peering in the pit, bouncing on the voids with I falling. I walk around the ruins in my brain. The tears, the fears, the silent suffocation. Walk around the ruins in my brain. Time for restoration. So please flip me, flip me, flip me. Please flip me, flip me, flip me. Rebuild me, restore me. Flip me, please flip me, flip me, flip me. Please flip me, flip me, flip me. Rebuild me, restore me. Please flip me. I need a restorer to come, take the rubble, walk around, wipe away the grime and renew my mind, fix the cracks, reclaim the time, reclaim the time of tripping up the pile, peering in the pit, bouncing on the voids with life falling. Tripping up the pile, peering in the pit, bouncing on the voids with life falling. I need a restorer to come, take the rubble, walk around, wipe away the grime and renew my mind, fix the cracks, reclaim the time, reclaim the time. So please flip me, flip me, flip me. Please flip me, flip me, flip me. Rebuild me, restore me. Flip me, please flip me, flip me, flip me. Please flip me, flip me, flip me. Rebuild me, restore me. Please flip me. Flip me. And I know He can. Thank you. I know God can flip me, be my remodeler, my rebuilder, my repairman. He can take all the horror and trauma and work it for good. He can rebuild us to even better than before. He can take what feels like ruined remains and renew and restore us to valuable, authentic assets for Him in this world. And thankfully, the analogy of flipping houses falls short there, because God already sees me and you as valuable, as His precious children, no matter how broken down we are or feel. but he is in the business of restoring his family. And I can tell he has already begun that job. His good work of restoring this building, restoring my soul, renewing my mind, and I pray yours too. God says in Isaiah 61, 1 and 4 in the NIV, those who proclaim his good news will rebuild the ruined cities and restore the places long devastated. Well, I think even the ruins in our brains and hearts. And in the Message, Isaiah continues, they'll take the rubble left behind and make it new. God can use us to take the rubble left behind and make it new. Our God can restore us to help us restore others. Even though my 4 months as a chaplain at Ground Zero assaulted my sense of security and opened my eyes to evil, I will forever treasure some things, like the New York City Firemen. They gave me a glimpse of nobility, faithfulness, camaraderie, courage. In the midst of the dreary, hazy ruins, they were an inspiration. Thank you, New York City, for being a redemptive memory for me in the horror of that pit. We talked together, we dug and carried and stood together, we prayed over buckets of unnamed bones, hoping it would give closure to some family. What an honor for me as a chaplain to escort one of your own, dressed in a body bag, as you all fell in line along the path to and from the makeshift morgue. You carried yourselves nobly even in your grief, and carried your fallen friends with such honor. New York City Firemen, with all my heart, I honor you. Those 343 who gave their lives on 9/11, but also those of you who carried on in spite of the pain. You carried on in their honor. I admire your sense of family, both at home and at the firehouse, your dedication to duty, disciplined defense of our city, and your dignity in a time of such destruction. May God bless, heal, and keep every one of you. I remember talking to one fireman, shaking his head while we watched his friend in a ladder truck basket extended out over the smoking debris covered in haze. Not just smoke, but a cloud of fluorescent purples and greens of who knows what newly created gases. But the fireman was there doing his job, holding the hose over the pit, trying to cool off the bright red-hot metal. And he was right above the genesis of these mystery fumes that would eventually wreak havoc with our bodies and lungs. Even weeks after 9/11, when the ginormous cranes would lift one end of these girder beams, flames would shoot up as the uncovered cinders fed on the oxygen. Later, after the pile was carried off and slowly morphed into the pit, these gases would burst up like Yellowstone geysers, but they were anything but natural. They had continuous bright psychedelic-colored streams of poisonous steam. The ground in the pit would give and heave because of the stories and stories of empty spaces from the underground shopping mall, the parking lots, subway stations, offices. I remember thinking, I wonder if we should be worried about falling in. But I wasn't. Not then. Well, thanks for sharing my 9/11 memories. If you would like to share yours, please visit me at www.groundzerochaplain.com and click through to our Facebook page. I'd love to hear yours. Until next week, God bless you. Ground Zero Chaplain, making more progress together.